Even though the school year is just about up, we're finally starting to get a few reports that are out there, and we're going to focus on one school district specifically. You already know what it is based on the thumbnail, so I'll just try to get the fucking hyperbole out of the way here. Let's take a look at the education ranks. This is ranking each state's public school system, both the higher education and the K through 12 stuff, okay, by state. And we're going to take a look at New York specifically. So how are they ranking this stuff, okay? I seen a bunch of numbers that were out there. New York was bouncing around a couple of different states. But at least right here, thanks to US News and whatever, World Report. I just needed to get the specific name on this. Anyways, but yeah, they ranked it based on performance from the standardized tests from all of the different federal meddling that was out there. So how each state ranked up, okay? You can already see some of them, okay? The top four, Florida right there in 3, which is, of course, good for them. But hey, no, Florida's just full of a bunch of brain-dead half hillbillies, right? No, okay, that's why they ranked 3rd. They're a large state, by the way, with a lot of people there, but they still managed to rank 3rd and have the best higher education system that's out there. Interesting. Anyways, the quality of the community schools is central to any family's aspirations. Yeah, smarter kids produce more money and have more successful life. Like, it's a pretty good indicator. It's right up there with IQ. Unfortunately, those are the hard facts. Anyways, public education has largely been a local matter for school boards and states that allocate most of their funding, as it fucking should be. Yet, for the past several decades, the federal government has entered the field. Why? With the No Child Left Behind. Yes, it was passed. George W. Bush put in place the annual testing requirement. States that showed up for the first time make glaring achievement gaps among white students and black and Latino students. Okay, cool. Among wealthy, middle-income, and low-income students. I think that probably plays maybe a little bit more of a factor than simply race, but hey, you know what? Sometimes you don't need to break everything down so specifically, now do you? You wouldn't want to be racist. As well as among students with disabilities and English learners. Yeah, okay. The Obama administration pushed states to adopt more rigorous academic standards and tests. Great. New teacher evaluations and pay systems based on color of in part of student test scores and strict improvement models for so-called failing schools. Where were those schools normally found? In the inner cities of where exactly? I don't need to be talking specifically about that in the twilight of the Obama administration. Congress replaced the No Child Left Behind with the Every Student Succeeds Act. Great. They just fucking push everybody through the system and never really make sure that they live up to their potential. Just, no, we got a new crop of kids coming in, just fucking move along. Which enshrined the annual testing requirement, but otherwise represented a sweeping rollback of the federal government's involvement in K-12 education. Meanwhile, the Trump administration's biggest ticket education priority was expanding school choice. Yay, good. Go to good schools, okay? Let bad schools fail, fall, and suffer. Because you keep pumping out these fucking failing teachers that just want to push an ideology instead of actually teach people. And they are vastly overwhelmed. So the good teachers, as opposed to the activists that get pumped out of these so-called institutions, there are good, hardworking teachers out there, okay? And if they get hired and promoted on a merit-based system, like their students are supposed to ascend through the system on, then we'd have an overall much better public school system. Just saying, that's an aside. Anyways, despite striking out at the federal level, the focus was to expand school choice options in a handful of states. Yeah, and again, all of this stuff should be simply state's choice option, okay? Actually, it should be a municipality choice option. If you want to send your kid to a better school on the other side of town, God bless. If you want to pay your tuition over there, terrific, wonderful. If you're paying for all of this nonsense with your tax dollars, you should have a say to where it benefits you and your family. But it's never that simple, of course. So they've ranked, okay, based on the performance of the students that are there. The top, well, all 50, right? I think Alabama's at the bottom. As you take a look here, okay, you got New Jersey, Massachusetts, Florida, Washington, Colorado, Connecticut, and North Carolina, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Utah. Where is, or outside of Florida, where are the big states? Okay, no no California, no Texas, no New York. Oh, there it is. New York, 16. Wonderful, fantastic. 14 for higher education, 19th with the K through 12, because they aren't focusing on any fucking thing. And all things considered, they are the 4th largest state out there, 18.82 million people. And Florida, once again, with 22.2 million, how did they rank again? Oh, right, yeah, they have the highest education, and they're ranked 16th in K through 6. Or K through 12, sorry. Beating the brakes off of the wealthy elites in New York City. But then again, are they sending their kids to public schools? Nah, they're just letting everybody else suffer, the lower class. Oh, the world needs ditch diggers too, So if we're actually hoping to make better citizens in every state, wouldn't you think that there should be some sort of an investigation, some sort of probe into where these funds are going? Because I'd imagine, okay, I don't know the specifics or anything like that. Maybe we'll find that out, okay, that New York probably gets a fair fuck amount of funding for their public school system, right? And specifically, like, New York City, based on how many schools they have, okay, you think that they'd be spending their money appropriately? But by the thumbnail that's just not the case. Over $200,000. $200,000 being spent on drag queen shows at New York schools. Drag queens in schools, $200,000. Okay, why don't you pay that much money for strippers for sex ed in high school? Like, your money would be better spent there, okay? And it's not like the fucking drag queens are going to high school to be ridiculed by kids with pretty quick and vicious wit. No, you're sending them to the fucking grade school kids, you degenerate bastards. This is sick fucking stuff, okay? Whatever drag queens want to do in the privacy of their own home or in their own fucking bars is totally up to them. If they want to butt fuck and suck their way through every glory hole at whatever the fucking Spearmint Rhino or whatever the hell the gay bars are called these days, if they want to go do that, that's fine. Stay the fuck away from the kids. Can we agree on that? No, because there's a contingent that's out there that just thinks that sexuality should be open for everybody, and we should be talking about where young kids want to be put their things, and if they think that they were born with the right things, because we keep indoctrinating them to judge and think about everything except for what's important about the public fucking schools, because that's what's happening here. $200,000 spent on bringing in, fuck it, I'll just say it, mentally deranged people. Fuck me, not the drag queens. I like girls. New York is showering taxpayer funds on a group that sends drag queens into city schools. That is a part of a sentence that is real life. It's it's Pride Month, everyone. Yay, wonderful. This is the worst one yet. Often without parental knowledge or consent. Yeah, no, until they get pictures and then they get told. It's like, what did you guys learn today? Oh, yeah, we started to delve into division and multiplication. And yeah, we had a coloring session that Ruby Bellbottoms helped us all out with. And who's that? This. Anyways, oh God, before I have a fucking aneurysm. Last month alone, Drag Story Hour, New York City. Oh, Christ. A non-profit. Then how'd they get so much fucking money? Whose outrageously cross-dressed performers interact with kids as young as 3. There's not a wall big enough. Earned $46,000. I thought they were non-profit. From city contracts for appearances at public schools, street festivals, and libraries. City Records show. God damn it. There's a storyline, and I think it's in the 3rd season of The Sopranos, where the Vito, he runs the construction racket for the New Jersey crew, and then he gets found out to be going to a leather gay bar. I miss the Mafia. Anyways, since January, the group has organized 49 since January. Half the school year. Okay. The group has organized 49 drag programs in 34 public elementary, middle, and high schools. A ballsy move to be going to high schools. Because even still, as woke as it's been going, okay, there's going to be some snickers and sneers by some jocks that are out there. Unless, of course, it was the late 80s Lakers, and you know the story goes. Anyways, it boasted on its website the appearances in all 5 boroughs. Great, your taxpayer dollars at work. I can't believe this. I'm shocked, said the public school mom. Oh, yeah, and a state assembly candidate, Helen Q. All right. Whose 11-year-old son attends a Manhattan middle school. I would be furious if he was exposed without my consent. Okay, this is not part of the curriculum. Yeah, no doubt. Oh God, the standards to become a teacher are low enough to begin with, but even still, I don't think that there's somebody that's going out there in their BDSM gear or their equivalent. Because, let's be honest, this is a sexual fetish that's being brought into public schools to be paraded around as something that's normal for everyday people to do. What the fuck kind of a simulation are we in? No, are they appropriately accredited to be teaching kids? Or does it even matter at this point? Are we just pushing through a bunch of kids that have had their education stunted over the past 2 years into the 3rd school year already? So just figure, fuck it, we might as well just pour gasoline and throw a match on this fucking generation. Boy. Yeah, since 2018, the group previously known as Drag Queen Story Hour. Oh, right, because that was found out to be quite the grooming op. Before changing its name earlier this year, received a total of $207,000 in taxpayer cash since 2018. 4 fucking years. Okay, I wonder if they did Zoom calls for 2020 and 2021. The tally includes $50,000 in New York State through its Council on the Arts, along with $157,000 from the city's Department of Education, Cultural Affairs, Youth, and Community Development. Might as well just slap on the sexuality label on there as well. Just, you know what, encompass everybody, right? It's like adding another stripe onto that fucking abomination that is a pride flag at this point, which isn't even about sexuality at this point. It has the brown and black fucking stripes on it as well, which I didn't know ethnicity is now a sexuality, you fucking mental cretins. And even the Department of Transportation. What the fuck? Was the $157,000, okay, that was in part paid for by the Department of Transportation, including bicycles without seats for all of the drag queens to get to the different schools with. Like, what are we doing here? I'm considering pulling funding. Well, they're considering pulling something else, so you might be a day late and $1 short to any school in my district that is implementing Drag Queen Story Hour. Yeah, it's just not appropriate to be in schools, okay? Like, I can only think on one specific instance where we had like a guest lecturer of any type, okay? Because that's the same group that these people are put in, okay? And we had, I think it was an offensive lineman for the BC Lions CFL team, okay? He came in and gave a talk to our class. Like, outside of that, we didn't have any other guest lecturers. And that was appropriate because I think he came in and spoke on like a gym class or something like that. I don't know what specific gifts a drag queen can give to teaching kids how to read. I'm still waiting on an explanation on that. But yeah, no, the statement, sorry, gotta go back to that. My brain's hurting. I'm considering pulling funding to any school in my district that is implementing Drag Queen Story Hour. Yeah, no, it's an open groomer pipeline. Let's also be honest. These are some hard truths coming in fast. Said City Council member Vicky Palladino, Republican from Queens. What? We are taking hundreds of thousands of dollars out of the pockets of hardworking New York taxpayers, well, whoever's left at this point, to fund a program teaching little kids about their gender fluidity. Not on my watch. Yeah, exactly. Especially if they're there specifically for that intent. There's more important things for kids to be learning, okay? Jesus Christ. This wasn't a problem until you made it a problem. How bad could 4 years be? Just the mean tweets are too much. Anyways, most of the money was allocated by city council members for their discretionary budgets. Oh, yes. That went... who set aside $80,000 for a group in the current fiscal year, more than tripling the $25,000 earmarked in 2020. Just a slight oversight. A Drag Queen Story Hour for children has been featured at public library branches throughout the city since 2017. Yeah, if you want to have that, oh God, it's a choice. I don't think you should be taking your kids to this event, but if you're willingly signing up to it, I would have specific child abuse issues, but the fact that you're not telling parents and that it's not an opt-out thing, there's a bigger problem that's there, okay? With upcoming events scheduled in Manhattan's Epiphany Library, Woodside Public Library in Queens, among others. Ugh. Cross-dressed performers typically read aloud from a list of books that teach acceptance and inclusion. Yes, terrific. Accept who you are by dressing like the other sex. Okay. Including children's classics like Where the Wild Things Are and Rainbow Fish. What? I've heard of Where the Wild Things Are. I just don't know what Rainbow Fish is. Just sounds like a shitty hippie fucking jam band. And some that overtly celebrate gender fluidity, like the hips on the drag queen go swish, swish, swish. Oof. And if you follow their lead, the follow-up to that is the rafter above the drag queen's head goes creak, creak, creak. The expansion into city schools has brought new features to the program, its social media posts reveal. Great, yay. In April, the elaborately coiffed harmonica sunbeam. It's like they get their names from that old, what's your porn star name generator from the old fucking Facebook surveys that went around in the early 2000s. Am I dating myself enough yet? Okay, wore a slinky gown. Ugh, to meet with kindergartners. I want to die. At Star Academy in Manhattan, and color pages from Dragvity book. You're just butchering the English language, along with my Hope for Humanity, which encourages kids to choose their pronouns and invent drag names. Yay! Your taxpayer dollars at work. What are you learning from this? Bella Notch wore a scantily mermaid-like bra getup to travel with second graders from Manhattan's PS 34 on a May field trip, and Flame taught middle schoolers of all genders how to apply drag eye makeup. Middle schoolers eye drag makeup. All right. At MS 88 in Park Slope. Some of the school-related posts disappeared from the internet Friday. I wonder why. Less than an hour after the post called Drag Story Hour NYC for comment. In one deleted photo, a performer known as Professor Lionel Longlegs. At least they're putting them all on a list. Wore a t-shirt emblazoned with the message, I don't want to look or be cis. Wonderful. So I don't want anybody to look or see you. Before an audience of primary grades kids in a library of BS 191 in the on the Upper West Side. Let's use a proper grammatical. That dude is the starting power forward for the Knicks in the 70s. You fucking prove me wrong. Some city parents welcome the idea of drag queen visits to school. I'm glad to see all types of people included in what students are exposed to and learned at a class, said Kirsten Williams, 40, whose 11-year-old daughter attends East Village Middle School. Kirsten Williams, yes, a liberal white woman from the East Village. No kidding. What does your ex-husband think about that? But Storm Neverson, is that not a drag name? Okay, anyways, 26, had reservations about her 9 and 6-year-old girls' exposure to the program at Star Academy. No shit. If they were in junior high or middle school, I would be okay with it because I feel like, they would have a little bit more of an understanding. Oh, I'm sure you're going to teach them. I'm sure you're going to sit them down when they're 10 and 13 years old, okay, and you're going to have a nice long talk about sexually confused men dressing up and looking like hyper-feminized women. I'm sure that is going to be a talk that you're going to have in the near future. At this time, the kids are just a little too young. Yeah, no, exactly. If you want to fuck around and be degenerates, 18 years old isn't that far away. It'll give you a long time to ruminate on the decisions that you make for the rest of your life because the internet never forgets. Star Academy parents were told of the in-school drag session ahead of time, Neverson said, but could not opt their kids out of it. Sorry, what? I'd be opting my kids out of that fucking school. It was mostly just a heads up, like, hey, this event is coming and we're going to have these people come in. And that was that. Oh, great. At the other schools, parents had no idea. Oh, great. So at least the Star Academy, the rich kids, got a heads up on that. But as for the plebs that are out there, you can just fucking deal with it as Hannah Starfire sachets into the classroom. Ugh. I didn't get any notice, complained Reese Harrington, a parent at PS 191. My daughter actually came home and told me that a drag queen came to school, and I would have lost my mind. I feel like, Merch, it would have been better for that conversation to happen at home. Yes, exactly. Last week, angry Texas parents, we talked about this. This is weird, okay? I would show you the back end of the studio, but it's got a whole bunch of other stuff because thankfully on YouTube, finally, after like 18 months of hard fucking work, finally got monetized on YouTube. This is where I'll this is very, very funny, right? Because I got to post directly to Rumble and then I post directly to YouTube as well. I know that there's a crossover and stuff, but I shuffle shit around all the time. It's just easier to just post directly to Rumble. But that video that I did on the Drag to Kids to Pride event is fully monetized on YouTube and is doing pretty well over here. It's weird. But then on Rumble, where I have most of my videos completely fully monetized, which is fucking weird, with the major exception of that one, as opposed to YouTube, where most of the videos are in limited AdSense, okay? The partial, some ads run on it. That's fine, wonderful, fantastic. But it's fully monetized on YouTube as opposed to Rumble, where the absolute flip reverse happens, where that video is ad-free, not monetized, and everything else is. It's weird. Looks like Rumble has it right. And you know what? Hey, maybe Muhammad wasn't wrong after all. Abdul, get the rocks! With all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.